this is the perfect show to do that for. It's my favorite sitcom of all time. I know you're big on Frasier. I don't know where you place Martin in the
It's above Frasier.
those black eyed peas. I'm in heaven.
I don't like this Tyrese though, where he had the little
What do they call
boy,
the lapel? Or not lapel, but
Brad or
bread.
something.
Yeah.
Happened in the 90s.
God damn!
Hey, you know what's dope, bro? We get the double dose of Pamela.
Dude, I mean, I thought you did this for me, honestly. And this is prime. This is it, Steve. Tasheen Arnold, she's never going to get bad. You know what I'm saying? It's going like fine wine at this point. I've been watching from afar, loving her since I was a child. Always beautiful, Steve. And just multi-talented.
Still to this day, man. Still to this day.
Everybody loves Pam.
People don't realize how far back she goes, man. Like her and Tisha Campbell, they were both in Little Shop of Horrors back in the day. That was like 85, 86.
I know, dude. And I'm telling you, because my buddy Sean was in SAG, right? He was an actor in LA for a while. And he got to go to those parties. Well, one time, because he knew I've been professing my love of this woman. Anybody I can tell about it, they eventually find out that's somebody I just adore. And he went to a party, saw her, dress. She had like a red dress on. It had to be 2012. Let's say that. So not too far in the past. It's crazy. It's that far long ago, but dude, it looked like it was taken in the 90s, dude. Like, I don't think she ages, to be honest with you.
Fine.
Round shaking ass.
Yeah, man. And this is our first time doing this where we're doing 2 episodes of the same show, and this is the perfect show to do that for. It's my favorite sitcom of all time. I know you're big on Frasier. I don't know where you place Martin in the
It's above Frasier. It's like close, but it's above Frasier for sure.
Nice.
Because it's been around longer. I didn't like Frasier when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Huh.
I just happened upon it as an adult because I have high class taste, Steve. But Martin, this is as far as sitcom comedies go, especially in the 90s, this is it. This is the best.
All-star cast, man. And it's like a dream team, if you ask me. Like, even the side characters, Bruh Man, Hustle Man, and it relied a lot on the star, obviously, for the different characters he had to play, and those are memorable.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm still wearing swag from Martin, for God's sake, but that's why he was so good. I mean, Eddie did it in the 80s and stuff, playing multiple people, but I mean, some of the greatest moments on this show are with those other characters, the Dragonfly Jones, the white guy that I can never remember his name.
Bob
the
from marketing.
Yeah, dude, even that guy. He's not in a lot, but you remember it. Otis.
Oh, Otis, gonna break it down,
Yeah.
boy.
So yeah, dude, it's and I think what you said about this being the perfect show, I think we've picked 2 great episodes because we get an episode from the second season, which is one of the best seasons, and then we get an episode from late in
Towards the
timeline,
Yeah.
and we get to talk about that too a little bit. So I think it's like a good comparison. But I mean, even the last, like what we're going to talk about, it had me laughing. It might not be the best, but I've seen a lot of stuff now or like, in time that it just doesn't even live up to that standard. You know what I mean?
Not even a chuckle. This is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Green Day tapes and your green jelly posters because you make me say, my, mama, mama. You sure look good tonight. Mama, 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 mama.
Give him a Grammy, dude. You did it.
Shout out Johnny Gill. Today, my friend, we're talking all things April 17th in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Johnny Gill would release his self-titled album, Johnny Gill. It's got that my.
Just sexy, Steve.
Put on your red dress and some of your high heels and some of your sweet perfume.
Mm, mm, mm. Bust your cheeks, girl.
Yeah. And this is when New Edition was on a hiatus. We just talked about Belle Biv DeVoe's debut album Poison about a month ago, and
Yeah.
all of these guys are hitting it, man. Bobby Brown is already solidified at this point. To me, he's the captain of the ship, if you ask me.
In terms of success, yes, obviously he's the one, and it is what it is. But they're all talented as hell.
Yeah,
Velvet DeVoe will fucking blow your mind, but Johnny Gill, dude, he's up there.
for sure. And
Mr. I mean, even to this day, honestly, I don't know. This one, the '83 album Johnny Gill had, he's looking a little suspect. But
hey, come on, man.
I'm sorry, Johnny. Damn, there's some Johnny got some wild styles, but you got to give it to him, dude. The guy can blow.
It was the
you know?
80s.
Yeah, it was the '80s. Hell yeah, Johnny Gill though, dude. Yeah, can he? Who's gonna win in a blow? Or I don't want to say blow contest,
Whoa.
and just like a singing contest, Steve, Johnny Gill, or Bobby Brown.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, even though I like Bobby Brown's music more, I would have to say Johnny Gill. He's like a pure singer. Like he can't hit those kind of notes. Like Bobby Brown can't do a my. He's got some
There you go.
slappers. Like Bobby Brown is like Mount Rushmore for me. Don't get me wrong.
What did it with Bobby though that he got elevated when Johnny Gill and like some other people might have had a little more talent? I want to hear like what's your thoughts on that?
I think because it's more than just raw talent, man. I think he had the charisma. I mean, it's just like with wrestling, man. You know, you got a lot of like people who aren't as talented as some other guys, but like they have this charisma, they have that star quality, and Bobby is that. He's in your face, and beat selection, that's huge. The Ghostbuster song, he's got range, man. You know, I think just being in front of more people, being in front of more faces, he's more of a known name, and that plays into it. Being in a relationship with Whitney Houston, that brings you to the spotlight a little bit more.
That's true.
You know, so it's all of those factors for me, man. But I don't want to denigrate Johnny Gill, though, man. He's a legend. Can't even say an unsung hero. People know his name. It rings in these streets still.
Johnny Gill.
Johnny Gill. In 1994, Martin is airing season 2, episode 24, Crunchy Drawers. Martin has a nightmare that he is sexually attracted to Pam. To us, that'd be a great dream.
That was one man's nightmare is another man's wet dream, Steve. I dreamt about Pam a lot, and it was never a negative way ever. So, you know, it is what it is. We see it unfold right before our eyes in the intro. You know, Martin's getting everything ready in his apartment. It's just a perfect sex vibe going on. He's got the candles, he's got the Luther playing, Steve. He's got the robe, you know, subtly open just to let her know that it's party time. Somebody shows up, and we're thinking at this point, this is Gina, you know. We don't know what's going on at this point. Turn around the camera, it's Pam. Martin wakes up. You'd think he was about to be shot. He's screaming.
Yeah. And I like the studio audience. They're like, ooh.
Yeah.
You can hear another lady like, oh.
I mean, one thing, if you're in a live studio audience and this is the episode you get to see,
yeah.
Oh my, they might have to kick me out. Like, sir, we're picking up whatever you're doing on the mic. You keep moaning over there.
And then, like, when Martin screams, he wakes Gina up. She's like, dude, what the hell is your problem? He's like, baby, I had the worst dream. I dreamt I was at a party. You were on the mic freestyling. Tommy had a fro. Cole was breakdancing. Almost broke his neck. I was embarrassed of your mic skills. You was on the mic and you couldn't rhyme, Gina.
Just the non-rhyming skills that she had. I mean, I would be waking up screaming too. She's like, "Why are you waking me up like this?" She's like, "You want a nightlight?" Being all shitty about it.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I don't need a nightlight. You light enough." So he got one in on her as she goes back to sleep. So now he goes back to sleep, kind of scared because he's worried this dream's going to pop up, and it does. And now him and Pam are talking. Basically, Pam's like, "Yeah, I was just hanging out with Gina just to get to you because I'm all about Martin Payne and all this." I mean, she's laying it on thick, Steve.
And she gets up, taking off her night coat. She's like, "Now, is it hard for me to get a man, Martin?"
With all this wagon that I'm dragging.
Choo choo.
Hell yeah, choo choo. I'll get right up in that caboose. Choo choo choo.
I do like it. It's a little nod to a future project of his when Pam says there's a thin line between love and hate. And then Martin
Right.
hops over. He's like, "Come to BDB."
And then he just jumps into Pam's arms, and then he wakes up screaming again, Steve.
And then again, Gina wakes up. He's like, "I keep having these nightmares, Gina." And she's like, "Why don't you just go have them on the couch?"
And he tries to say something. She's all tired, like, "Man, I don't need to hear no speech, man."
And so Martin goes out to the living room. He sees Bruh Man in his kitchen making a sandwich.
Having a sandwich.
It's 3 a.m, man. What are you doing here? "Oh, none. Just chilling." "What you doing
Man.
up?"
Around this hour. While Brumman's just having a Scooby-Doo size sandwich. I'm sorry. Martin's running like the dream past Brumman. You know, he's got like another head to talk to, so he runs through it. And Brumman's he's like, "Let me tell you about fraud." So he's trying to talk about Freud and talking about his dreams of just repressed desires and shit. So
Things
Bro
we
man's
wish,
an educated dude, man.
things we wish we could have.
So Bro man lays like a mind fuck on Martin and then just gets up, takes his sandwich, takes the bread, because he might need some extra bread. He exits the way he usually exits, Steve, out the window. Going upstairs. So Martin's like sitting there thinking, he's like, "Man, I love my baby Gina, man. Can't be this. I don't want like Pam like that." So cut to another dream, Steve, and Pam and Martin are getting very sexual, very close, if you will.
Yeah. Those black eyed peas. I'm in heaven.
And then we cut back to the apartment, and Tommy and Cole show up. It's like 3 a.m. now, but Martin called his boys because he needs some help, Steve. He needs some psychological guidance here. Tommy's like, "Hey, man, we got to make this quick because I got to get up for work." And Martin's like, "Man, you ain't got no job. Shut up." So he tells him about this dream that he's having. And Tommy just starts laughing. But Cole's like kind of gets like silent. He gets like shitty about it. And he's like, "Man, just trying to quench your sexual desires with Pam now. You're getting greedy with it." And I mean, I'd feel the same way if I was Cole too, to be honest with you.
God, you already got yourself a woman. Man, listen to me. I dreamt I was kissing the buckshots. What if Pam is the one I really want? And then he asked Tommy, "You ever had dreams about women off limits?" It's like, "Yeah, of course, like Gina." What man, what? Man, I was just saying her name. It ain't even like that, man. So they just run out. And then, like, right as they leave, Pam comes in. "I just came from a party. My car's broke down." It's like, "Yeah, hell no, you can't stay here. Look, I'm staying here. I ain't catching no bus. I'm tired." And he's like, "You know what? I'm glad you here because I had some wild dreams about you. I love my baby Gina, and I hate you. I hate you too, Martin. I hate you more. Hate me, Martin. Hate me till it hurts." And then they start getting it in again. And then Tommy comes out there with an afro.
And this is like some Inception shit. Like they're in a dream type shit.
Yeah.
So Martin, that was a dream. Tommy looks great in an afro, though. By the way, just so I can point that out.
Cole with the
But
balls.
yeah, cut back to the bedroom because that was a dream. So Martin tells Gina that there's just some bad things going on in my head, man. But he can't really tell her the truth about this. You know, he can't be like, hey, I love you, but I'm just having sexual dreams about your best friend. So he's like, have you ever had a dream so awful, so disgusting that you just can't go back to sleep? And while he's explaining it, Gina falls asleep. So she's tired.
She ain't trying to hear that shit.
She wakes up again. She's like, dude, if the dream's so bad, this is how you get rid of it. You have to go further into the dream so that you can see it to the end. And once you do that, you're going to wake up and this is all going to be resolved. So just go to sleep, dude. Shut up. So he's like huddled on his side of the bed, scared going back to sleep. Cut to the dream. Martin and Pam enter the bedroom, Steve. It's where all the magic happens, and it's about to go down. So Martin won't carry Pam over the threshold because he won't be able to see her walk to the bed, which I like. That's sexy.
Walk
Steve.
it, girl. Walk it.
Yeah. Scoot it and stalk it. Martin's like rubbing her foot, and he cuts his hand on like a corn or something. He's like, God damn, bro.
Something missing. Why don't you slide 6 inches over to the left? Your left or mine? Girl, get on over there. Get on that left. You sweet sexy thing, you.
And then this is where this episode starts being like sponsored by the Acme company from Looney Tunes, because Martin pulls a lever and like a giant 20-ton weight falls on Pam. She's like, ah! It's hilarious. He even lights like a match off her corn and lights a cigar off of it, which I thought was a nice touch. He wakes up, slaps himself. He wants to make sure now he's in real life, because I mean, that's the best way that could end. He finally made it, Steve. Dream's over. He's feeling nice, and he snuggles with Gina.
He can rest easy.
Yeah. But then meanwhile, in another dream, we kind of see that beginning happen again. And he's like 6 inches to the left. And she does it. He pulls the lever. Instead of the weight going on Pam, the weight goes on Martin. And she starts laughing. And then we see that was her dream. And now she's feeling great. And she snuggles up, not to anybody, which is sad to me. It could have been me. You know, she gets a nice dream too. So I like that. Pam wins too, Steve.
And then I don't understand. Like, his hand looked like an apple fritter. Like, why does his hand look like that?
I didn't catch that. I didn't catch the apple fritter hand. Was there something in the credits too? Because I didn't know if I wasn't paying attention. But did we cut to Otis in a courtroom after that?
Yeah, they did this in the earlier seasons, and I think by the last season they just would go to a credit screen. But yeah, Otis, he's walking a perp into court for robbing an old lady. Apparently, take your dilly dally off in the court, boy. I said, take your dilly dally off, boy.
Going down today, boy.
Yeah,
going down today, boy. And the guy gets off because of some
a misspelling in the search warrant.
He just gets on it, Steve. Citizens arrest the guy, just starts whooping that ass.
Yeah, and tases him in the taint.
I forgot that. Yeah, he does. He gives him a little shock therapy.
On that same day in 1994, WCW is airing Spring Stampede 94. And this was a stand-up event, man. Not just for WCW standards in 94, but it still holds up. It's actually considered one of the greatest pay-per-views ever.
I'm seeing a lot of notable names. I'm seeing Brian Pillman's in this, Johnny B. Bad at the time. The Nasty Boys, I'm seeing Cactus Jack. I'm seeing stunning Steve Austin.
Against Muta, yeah.
Sting's in this against Rick Rude, which I love. Okay, but here's where I'm confused. I'm seeing some guy named Bunkhouse Buck.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Bunkhouse Bunk. Never heard of this guy before. I'm sure he was around in the territories, but he had a match with Dustin Rhodes in a bunkhouse match, and that got pretty gory, man. Like, what I liked about this event, everybody gets to the action, especially in the tag team match with the Nasty Boys and Cactus Jack and Max Payne. Like they get right to it. And like that was a Chicago street fight match. Surprisingly, there was no blood in the Cactus Jack match, but there was a lot of blood in the Dustin Rhodes Bunkhouse Buck match. They got it cracking, Matt.
Bunkhouse Buck looks
sick.
like he does look like he's related to like Terry Funk, to be honest with Terry Funk or the Bushwhackers. He has that kind of look to him.
Or Trevor from GTA.
Yeah, he definitely sells meth or makes his own alcohol in a toilet. But shout out to Bunkhouse Buck. Never heard of him or his other ring names as Jack Swagger Sr. or Jimmy Golden, Steve. But this guy goes all the way back to 1979.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And Vader had a match with the Boss, aka the Big Boss Man. But the main event was Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. They had another lights out match. This is one of Ric Flair's greatest rivalries, man. This is another example as to why, because they went over a half hour.
God.
Yeah. They always had matches like that.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know, this could be good or bad, but I'm looking at the whole lineup. I mean, you even get DDP in this in 94.
In 94. Oh, I'm glad you brought him up, man, because Kimberly Page is his valet at this time. People don't talk about her enough as one of the like hottest 90s women in wrestling. Blink and you miss it. She was in 40-year-old Virgin. She was one of the girls. Really? Yeah, she was one of the girls he went on a date with. Like she was like the really hot, like milfy looking one. That wasn't Catherine Keener, but yeah.
The one where her titty came out?
Did it happen on the date?
It happened when he went speed dating.
Boom.
It might be her. Wow, that's cool though. But yeah, dude, of course, DDP has a hot piece.
Yeah, so fine. Still to this day, Kimberly Page. Oh man,
are they still together?
No, they're not. But he keeps a baddie around him though.
Of course he does. It's DDP,
but
dude.
Also, man, the place goes electric for Sting. Like they're eating out of his hand at this point. This is still Surfer Sting. When he comes out, they lose their shit, man, as they should. It's Steve Borden.
Surfer Sting. I mean, I like Sting also because Sting, like, he's on like a Hulk Hogan force in wrestling where like he'll just get to the point where he's invulnerable.
Yeah,
you know, slap him in the face. He's just like, all right, dude. Who did it better? I mean, obviously Ric Flair. I've said this before, but I like that Sting even he threw a woo out there every once in a while, fired me up.
Yeah. It's like the call of the wild, man. In 1997, Martin is airing season 5, episode 21, Going for Mine. After being laid off, Pam gets an opportunity to work at a record company. The end is near.
It's almost happening, Steve. They're trying to set something up here. And I would have watched. If we got a Pam show, Pam, I'd watch it. And like I told you when we were talking about this, if you did the show, if you made a Pam show, right, started off the same that they did in this, where she's in a skin tight, just perfectly fitting sweatsuit. I almost busted, and my wife was right there, Steve. I almost cheated on my wife right then and there.
She is wearing those pants. I
mean, there's not even a size. It looks like it's painted on. We can go on and on about how gorgeous this woman is. Tashina, come on, get on. Let's all hang out. Let's just see what happens. But there's a thing about to happen. It's called Superfest, I think. Tommy and Cole come up to her place and they're like, come on, we got to go. Like, you got to go. Like, you look great. You could go if you want, but we got tickets. We got to get going. She's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm broke. I got no job.
Like Tommy.
Yeah, dude. Tommy, how do I do this? Tommy does try to tell her something business. Like, he's like, this happens all the time. People get downsized. It is what it is. It's business. You're going to land on your feet. You know that. And she's like, you don't have a job, Tommy.
Yeah.
Fuck your advice.
Get a knock on the door, and it's old Marty Mart. What's happening, Clint Beastwood? He slams the door on him, and then he comes in, and he's with a friend. And I guess maybe this is just the signals, the applaud signals, but people are going ape shit for this guy. like he's
Woo! It's
Denzel.
Trey, dude.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Trey. It's Trey. But I do recognize him. There are multiple players in this episode, but like he was the boyfriend on the Cosby Show. He was Vanessa Huxtable's boyfriend in the early seasons. But
Okay, so he had some like TV flex. I was like, they fooled me. I was like, this guy must have just been like some sort of heartthrob in the '90s that I don't remember.
But even he wasn't a known guy like that. I mean, for them to be losing, like you would have thought Michael Jackson walked through the door.
They have a guy to tell you how to act. So yeah, there was definitely somebody holding a card like,
Go ape shit.
So, but he's there because he went to high school with Martin. They're boys.
Yeah.
Old friends. You know, they're going to Superfest. I think they say maybe Trey got them the tickets to Superfest.
Yeah, because he's an A&R at Keep It Real Records. And Cole's like,
That's
y'all make root beer and records? Okay.
Pam does try to get it because she hears A&R at a record company and she's like, oh, I'm jobless. That sounds great. So she's trying to like get her foot in the door. And Martin says something. He's like, don't you need to shave?
Yeah.
Like some shit. It just like takes her down a peg, which he's not in this episode a lot, Steve. This is an episode of Martin. It's pretty Martin free, but he gets his digs in. He's got to, you know. I think it's a contractual obligation.
Yeah, I think this is the only scene he's in, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right, yeah. And as we said, 5th season, getting close to the end. It's not my favorite season. There's some gold moments in it. There's some fun. The thing that also is like brings it down, in my opinion, I don't like the theme song that they got at the end here. I don't like this.
Worst theme song.
It's not good. It's not good. But you know, the show, it's greatness. It's a hitter. We'll allow that. But we come back after the intro to Keep It Real Records, Steve. We're here.
Yeah.
And somebody who else is here that is a familiar face is 1-6 from Blossom, Steve. Looking sexy.
That Giovanni, I tell you, baby.
Yeah, dude. But she's answering phones. She's like the receptionist. She's the assistant or whatever. She's like sort of that do everything chick here. And then another familiar face shows up. Little younger than I remember him from the show that we're talking about, Seinfeld, but Jackie Childs.
No, Jackie Childs, man. Sterling Sweets, if you will.
Sweets. Sweets is in the bag. Fucking, you own a candy store, dude? Yeah. I think Trey in the first scene said something about like, oh yeah, man, show up to the office and I'll hook you up and stuff. Like that's kind of what their conversation was before Martin told her to shave. So she took that as like an instant invitation. She shows up to Keep a Real Record, Steve. She's actually there before everybody else, basically.
Sounding like a groupie. I was on the elevator with Shaka Khan. If I was on the elevator with Shaka Khan, I would explode.
Sir Mix-a-Lot gave me a Kleenex in the lobby. You know, there's a lot of celebrities that Keep It Real Records. 6 sees her and is like, hey, are you here for the A&R record like interviews? And she's like, nah, yes. Of course I am. A&R. Yeah. Root beer?
Yeah. And then some Guido dude comes out. His name's Tony, giving out orders, and he sees Pam. He's like, hey, Toots, make sure you got your bikini on. The audition's in the back.
With that big old caboose. Looking like a brajol, you know? Like a meatball next to another meatball. He's very Italian, Steve. You couldn't tell. It's hard to tell. This guy might be named Johnny Guido. I don't know what his actual name is, but he's on the Goodfellas squad, Steve, for sure. He's connected.
She tells him, like, I keep my clothes on. Oh, it's too bad.
With those hams, with those fucking hams.
Those cannolis. Trey Foster, that's his name. He comes in and he gets another huge pop. He gets a Kelly Bundy pop.
It's Trey, dude.
Trey Foster.
Fucking Johnny Cool. He's Mr. Cool. He's like, yeah, tell Michael Jackson I ain't even talking to his ass. Oh, and then he sees Pam. He's like, oh, hey, Pam, what's up? Why are you even here right now? He's not accommodating, Steve.
She's trying to audition right there on the spot. I met Gladys Knight one time. I know all the Pips moves. Look at this. I could pop lock. It's like, whoa, I'm perfect for the job, though.
I can dance, man.
And then we see another familiar face, Clyde, played by late, great A.J. Johnson, man. we know him better as Ezel.
Sweet's
Nephew.
nephew, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. And also something to add, Sweet is on the prowl to get Trey in his office because he's pissed. Because Trey, we find out, he doesn't have it all together. You know, he's Mr. Cool. He's not thinking about all these like duties he's got. He's just kind of using it to get his free tickets and shit. He's trying to get out of the office because Six is like, yo, Sweet wants to talk to you. So he's like, yeah, I got to go. And Pam's like, yeah, but wait, like, I know how to use Excel. You know, like she's just trying to like get some sort of like job at this place. I get it. I've been there. But I don't think he gets into the elevator in time because I think Sweet sees him and he's like, all right, get into my office or whatever. So Pam's she's fucking over the guy kind of that is she's trying to get a job of. So it's not a good look, Steve.
And basically tells Trey, look, man, you need to produce more. Like your last big artist that you brought in here, that was like a year ago.
Oh, I have to give a shout out to AJ Johnson also because when he sees a hottie in the lobby, he's like, girl, what group you in? Booty and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
He throws he's so good at those. So Sweets, he's just kind of giving him the biz on everything. He's like, yeah, you forgot to call this guy. Like, you're not doing anything. Like, I need some actual results here. His job's on thin ice. And Pam's like basically sitting in his desk. It looks like she's answering phones. Like, I don't know if she's faking the conversation, but she's, still there just trying to get a job, Steve.
So what's up with the job? And before he says anything, I think Tony tells Trey, like, hey, Iceberg called. He says something about whipping your ass. And then they put him on speaker. Man, I'm a gangster rapper. How my album gonna have 2 white people on the beach?
And he tries to say something like he tries to sell it, but he gets like hung up on. And Pam's like, look, I'm just brainstorming here. Here's what you do. You put just nothing on the cover except caution signs. Make it look dangerous.
With the word censored on it.
Yeah. And that's it. And he's like, man, that's stupid. That's stupid as hell. Why would I do that? And then Sweet comes out, says something about this, and Trey just uses the idea. Sweet loves it.
Yeah. And he's like,
damn, you know what? That's great. That's actually a genius idea. So now Trey's got the credit, but Pam's like, hey, fuck is going on here, dude?
Don't play me. Like, I heard what your boss said. You got problems, man.
She's like, you need me. Like, you obviously don't have it all together. So I have good ideas. You just use one. And Trey's like, you don't know. We need talent, okay? Like, this isn't all just about good ideas. We have to, like, bring talent in. And you don't know that. Pam's just basically like, actually, I know somebody with talent. She's just, like, bullshitting, and she's, like, trying to think on her feet. And he's like, okay, well, if you can give me a singer, I'll hook you up with a job. She's like, okay, I got you. Like, cool. Let me get in. I got 5 singers right now. Let me give them a call.
I know a girl who can sing better than Tony Braxton.
But then Pam's like, yeah, great, Trey. I'll hook that up. Singer. She gets in the fucking white pages, Steve. She's trying to look in the business section for singers. Nothing.
Now I got to find a singer. And then we cut back to Pam's crib and Dante, played by the legendary Tyrese. I guess he was a typist at her old job and he was bringing some of her remaining things from the office. He's like, all right, I'm out. It's like, oh, I'm about to leave too. Just wait for me. So while he's waiting for Pam, he sees those keys, starts hitting those ivories. She comes around the corner like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why do you tell me?
Can I get that booty? He's playing piano too, Steve. I mean, he's a double threat guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
now she's got that talent. Also, I don't like this Tyrese though, where he had the little
what do they call the lapel? Or not lapel, but
bread or something. Yeah. Like, something like that for baby boy. I don't like that shit. But problem solved, Steve. Diamond in the rough, Aladdin shows up to give you a box of shit. It's Tyrese. Okay, well,
Jody Joe.
Yeah. So now she hears this. She's like, wait, what the fuck? So she's now testing him because Pam can blow, Steve. She's a diva that just never got the full props, but she's like, "Can you do this?" They go back and forth, and she's like, "Cha-ching, we got work to do," but she found her like golden goose, basically.
You're the one I've been looking for. You have what it takes to be a star. And then we cut to the showcase, and I don't know if you caught this, but it's at the Dead Parrot.
Hell yeah, dude. It's like a showcase, so you got to get a venue. She found this venue. It's not the best titled venue. I wouldn't want to go there, but hey,
It's Mama Bird.
she's got a lot of stuff. I wonder if that's why they did that. She's got it set up. I mean, this place, it looks a legit place, but unfortunately, like,
He hasn't showed up yet, and Trey grills her about it, but she's like, you know what? The sister I told you about is a brother. He's like, wait, hold up. What kind of Dennis Rodman shit you got going on? So,
RuPaul shit.
so you gonna have this cross-dressing man come over here and sing? It's like, no, it's not about that. And then they find out Sweets is there. They turn around and like, oh snap. Well, he's still not here. I'm gonna go stall Sweets out. You get on the mic and just say something. And so she gets up there and she does one of those when comedians are bombing. Give it up for the ladies, everybody. Yeah.
Hey, any troops in the yard? Give it up for the troops, y'all.
Support the troops.
So finally, Tyrese shows up, but he's looking kind of sullen, Steve. He doesn't have like the confidence we saw in the previous scene at the end. And he's like, "Look, I can't do this." She's like, "What are you talking about? Like, you can do this. We did it. Just get up there." And he's like, I can't sing in front of all these people.
Got stage fright.
Scared. She's like, "You're baby boy. It's going to be fine, Jody Joe."
Yeah. You're just a baby boy. You're not the real McCoy.
But he does finally. She gets up there. I think she starts singing with him.
She pump fakes him because she's like, I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Dante. And then basically just pushes him onto the stage, and he's a mute. The music is playing. He's not doing anything, not moving, not saying anything. And then finally she gets on the stage and joins him, like, just remember the stuff that we went over. And they do their little acapella bit that they did. Dante shows the world. This is basically his introduction to the world. This is before the Coke commercials, before the Jody Joe, before all of that, before Fast and Furious. This is his first time, I believe, on screen.
So Pam brought us Tyrese. So you're welcome again. We all love Tyrese here. This is a showcase. So eventually Tyrese giving us full Tyrese. It's coming out. But Sweet's sitting there in the audience, just stone face. He's sitting there like, yes, okay. We don't know what's going through his head. But as like Tyrese is getting to the height of it, to the crescendo, Pam's sitting there like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm pulling this off. Sweet's like, I've heard enough. I'm good. I gotta go. Trey, I want to see you at my office immediately. And everyone, like, Pam's like, what the fuck? Like, it seems like it was not good. It did not have a good vibe. Sweet's a professional, Steve.
They show Trey coming into the office with Pam. Sterling Sweets asks, like, what is she doing here? Trey was trying to throw her under a bus because he thinks he's in there getting reprimanded. He's like, I tried to tell her that boy was whack. That boy was whack. That boy was bad. And then, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, I said bad. I told her the boy was bad. Yeah.
Basically, he wants to sign Tyrese, Dante, and now Pam's trying to get this job, Steve. She's like saying why she deserves the job. She sells it, and he's like, well, when can you start?
Yesterday.
She's like, yesterday? He's like, that's what I want to hear. I'll see you on Monday. So Pam's got a job, Steve.
And Trey's like, so what do I get? I discovered her, so in a way, I discovered Dante. You get to keep your job. Oh, yeah we could roll with that.
And then it's Sweet's birthday. So like one of the last jokes of this episode is they bring him his birthday present, which is one golf club. He's like, oh man, this is a nice golf club. Where's the rest of them? And they're like, yeah, that's it. I think AJ's like, think about it like this. You keep us around about 12, 13 more years, you're going to have a full set.
There you go.
But Pam She's floating on cloud nine. She steps outside of the record office and she just does like a Mary Tyler Moore, like, yeah, woo, and just freeze frame on Pam.
You're gonna make it after all.
Oh yeah, dude. And you know, who knows if this show would have done anything or if this was gonna be a show, but
Yeah.
I would have watched it.
I would have watched it, but let's be honest, it wouldn't have lasted.
No, unless it featured a Martin cameo like every episode or every few episodes, it would have needed that bump. But you know, Tashina, we don't have to keep going into this. She's one of the most beautiful chicks in sitcom history, and an episode of All Pam. You know, I enjoyed it, Steve. I enjoyed it.
2 episodes of All Pam.
Mm-hmm.
That following year, 1998, Homegrown premieres. 3 marijuana farmhands see their boss killed, ending their peaceful existence in Northwest California. They decide to harvest, process, and sell the crop themselves. Crime bosses, corrupt cops, killer pilot, greed, etc. ensue. Directed by Stephen Gyllenhaal, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Hank Azaria, Kelly Lynch, John Bon Jovi, Ryan Phillippe, Judge Reinhold, John Tenney, Ted Danson, John Lithgow, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, dude. Also, IMDb says Jake Gyllenhaal's in this movie, which I don't know who that would have been, but I never heard of this movie. We talked about it. We thought maybe we had seen this. I realized I had never seen this movie. And I got to say, I watched it. I enjoyed this. I don't even know if I call it a comedy. It is that,
Dark
but
comedy.
there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as somebody who's just started growing weed, it shows that part of it, like how to grow it. Because I think Hank Azaria's character, Carter's sort of the guy who's the green thumb dude. And you see him like do stuff in the movie that's very accurate. So I think somebody who likes pot made this movie. And I thought that was pretty cool too.
I can't believe it only made $77,000, man. I think all the players involved got paid way more than what the return on this movie was. Ted Danson's not leaving the house under 6 figures.
I also think that whoever made this was friends with all these people, and that's how they got this done. Because there's Ted Danson is in this movie for
1 scene.
5 seconds. I mean, 5 seconds. Bon Jovi, he's in it enough.
Yeah.
And I think his character is the one that I would want to be in this movie more than anybody.
The guy that takes off.
Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Did you see his wife in this movie, Steve?
I didn't clock.
Oh my! The chick's ass. It's a black chick. She gets out of you see her for 5 seconds, and all it is ass, Steve. It's 5 seconds of just lusciousness. So this movie just will catch off guard. It's got a lot of. It's too long. I would say if I'm being.
Yeah, I agree.
Kelly Lynch, other than being hot, I didn't get that as much, but overall, it's got the core cast of it, the Hank Azaria, Billy Bob, and Ryan Phillippe connection. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
So, as a pothead, it gets 2 green thumbs up.
2 green thumbs. And that same day, 1998, Major League Back to the Minors premieres. A lousy minor league baseball team bursting with diverse personalities gets a new manager, an aging minor league pitcher. Directed by John Warren, starring Scotty Bakula, Corbin Burnson, Dennis Haysbert, Jensen Daggett, Eric Bruscater, Ted McGinley, and Bob Euchre.
And to bring it to current, Steve, a very young Walton Goggins is in this movie as a Billy Downtown Anderson. You don't know who Walton Goggins is? He's the current ugly pretty actor that's in. He's in like Righteous Gemstones. He's always in like Danny McBride shit.
Oh, there's a man on that teeth.
Yeah, exactly. This was a movie that I tuned into as a youngster. I did not rewatch this one, unfortunately, but it was part of the Major League franchise, and I was all in on that franchise after 2. And, you know, I think we got a lot of what we liked out of that in this. But this is sort of that direct to DVD flick, you know. It wasn't the same thing. I don't even think what's his name, Sheen's in it at all, which is
winning.
Not winning, honestly. But
it's a different franchise. It's not even associated with the Indians this time. It's a minor league team for the Minnesota Twins, and the only original players from the first 2, Bob Euchre, obviously, and Dennis Haysbert, who played Serrano and Corbin Burnson, who is like the owner or GM of the minor league team. But Ted McGinley, he's doing his Jefferson Darcy ish. He plays that role to a T. And yeah, he's the perfect antagonist for these kinds of movies, man. Word to Revenge of the Nerds. He just has that look like it's not fair that you're this handsome and a head full of hair at that age. You just want like you want to see him crumble.
Yeah, stop being chiseled and like handsome your whole goddamn
With the
life.
stone jaw and shit. Like it's just not fair.
Also, we get Scott Bakula, Steve. And
Scotty
as somebody,
Bakula.
as you guys who have been watching him in this show and our show and loving Quantum Leap, you get Scott Bakula. I like that. That's a nice ad.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, I don't know. It just wasn't as good as the original two, and it was just trying a little too hard. But there's some highlights in this.
It's a decent sports film, man. If you go into it expecting any of that same magic, with Charlie Sheen and Tom Berenger, you're not going to get it. But it's for what it is, it's not bad. But also in 1998, Suicide Kings premieres. A group of youngsters kidnap a respected mafia figure. Directed by Peter O'Fallon, starring Christopher Walken, Dennis Leary, Sean Patrick Flannery, Johnny Galecki, Jay Moore, Jeremy Sisto, Henry Thomas, Cliff DeYoung, and Laura San Giacomo.
Me and Johnny Galecki used to hang out, put stuff in our ass. This was a college favorite. I did not watch this in the 90s. This is something I kind of got introduced to in the dorms from somebody. Enjoyed it. There's a lot of fun 90s people in this movie. We get Dennis Leary in a cool thing. I feel like he's pretty cool in this.
In this, yeah.
Yeah, he's playing an Italian, which I love. He's very Irish Italian guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those fun things because basically what happens is these like group of guys, they're like all friends. They kidnap this gangster, and I don't remember, like, I didn't watch this again, but all I remember is like as they have Christopher Walken, who is obviously the gangster that they kidnap, held hostage. He's this like smooth. He's a capo, Steve. He's like a godfather basically, and he starts using his devious genius to sort of like pit everybody against each other. They're trying to find. I feel like there's like a kidnapping that's like a fake kidnapping where they're also trying to find that chick, or some of them are.
It's one of the guy's girlfriends and another one of the guy's sister. And as Christopher Walken is like making these guys go against each other, they eventually find out that it's an inside job.
He finally gets them to basically admit it, and then as they all kind of find out the truth, that's basically the culmination of the movie, is them finding out the truth of this. So I think the people who are actually responsible are the people that are to your right in the photo behind you, which is the guy from Boondock Saints, or one of them. And then I don't remember what that is. That the guy from Star Trek, Steve?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some like basic white dude. But it turns out that there was some gambling debts involved, and they basically tricked the other guys just to kind of get into it because they were all buddies. So
Yeah.
eventually, one of the coolest moments that I always remember from this is you kind of get to see Christopher Walken like in flashbacks and stuff. And you see Christopher Walken like as like his old self, and he has like this long. He looks ridiculous.
It
he looks
is.
like a samurai.
Samurai pimp.
Yeah, exactly. It looks cool. But the movie ends like Dennis Leary is like his assassin, like right hand guy, basically his fixer dude. And there's a lot of funny scenes with that. Like at one point, Dennis Leary like goes to this apartment and like beats the shit out of a guy with a toaster that's like a scumbag.
Yeah. Forgot Brad Garrett was one of the gangsters too that he
Yeah. I like that too. Brad Garrett was like the thug that they sent out to people, and that's kind of hilarious because he played a cop on Everybody Loves Raymond.
He looks the part.
But the movie ends, spoiler alert, where you find out all this, and basically the guy from Boondock Saints ends up with like the fake kidnapping chick on like this yacht someplace.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken shows up with Dennis Leary on like on some boat, like they're just on a boat.
They just mysteriously appear.
It's like they show up. He gives them the money back or something, and then Christopher Walken just blasts both of them, and the last shot's just sort of them getting off the boat. And it's always like, I don't know. This movie's always just kind of stood out to me because it's sort of like one of those one room movies that ends up being like sort of a lot more than just that. You know, it's not just them talking to Christopher Walken while he's tied up, which is sort of basically the whole preview of the movie if you watch it.
I'd say it's worth more than one watch because of the different plot twists within the movie. Like,
Yeah, I think like this was that time. Like I would be wondering if when did The Usual Suspects come out? Because it's sort of like one of those movies where there's just like a lot of like subterfuge and like red herring set up where you're like you really don't know what's going on exactly until they reveal it.
yeah.
But it serves its purpose, and it's one of those movies. Look at the cast behind you: Sisto, Galecki, the guy from Boondock Saints, who I can never remember his
Sean
name.
Patrick Flannery.
Yeah,
Jeremy
and obviously
Sisto.
Walken and fucking Leary, dude. This is just like a bunch of hitters, and it's enjoyable, dude. It's definitely worth a watch.
And finally, in 1999, in the NFL draft, the Cleveland Browns would select Tim Couch, quarterback from the University of Kentucky. And man, what a cycle they would go on.
They're still on it.
They're still
Steve.
on
I
this
mean,
cycle.
it never stopped. What was that? 99?
99 and 2000. And
What college did he play with? Because I feel like Tim
Kentucky.
Couch literally just disappeared into like the mist of history of football, where he was a number one pick. He was good at one point, and then the Browns just were like, and
dude, they really tried it. They tried to stick with him, man. And I want to say they went to the playoffs with him, but at that point, somebody else took over the starting position. That one time they went to the playoffs.
yeah, I think it was that Bigfoot dude. I forget what his name was. Yeah, I mean, he just got crushed in the AFC North. If it wasn't the Steelers, it was the Ravens. But they just got destroyed. And Tim Couch, you know, hey, man, you're not Ryan Leaf, bud. You know?
The Cleveland Browns selected Tim Couch over Donovan McNabb, who went second, Edgerrin
Wow.
James, who went fourth, Champ Bailey, who went seventh. I mean, Ricky Williams went fifth. Torrey Holt was sixth. Even David Boston, Chris McAllister, Dante Culpepper, Javon Curse, Antoine Winfield.
Damn, you could have had Culpepper or McNabb, and you took Tim Couch's hick ass. Hey, you want me to toss this pigskin around? That's what I picture when I picture Tim Couch. He might not even be a hick, but
You know who the Steelers picked?
99. No, I don't know who they picked.
With the 73rd pick, they picked Joey Porter.
Oh, I was gonna guess that. I was right around that time. But hey, look at that. We got a future Hall of Famer, I would think. Or if he's not I don't think he's in there yet, and they got Tim Couch. Number one. That's crazy though. That's hilarious. Now you can look up that jersey that they always use as a meme that has like the corrections off of it, and it's just like, I mean, you need like a scroll at this point.
And I saw that meme years ago. Like, they need two jerseys now.
Yeah, dude. It just hasn't gone well for the Browns, which is why I no longer have any malice to them. It's just not even funny. It's almost sad.
Any callbacks today, Matt?
Steve, do you want to go through 2 questions, or should we just speed it up? Should we do that?
Let's do the 2 questions.
You've done, for people that don't remember, Steve actually did deliver on his promise and got to a 2. So we're going to go. Steve, can you do it again? Can you wow us? Can you wow us with your prowess? Can you wow us with your prowess, Steve? Let's see.
I think it. I will be it.
Who had a massive hit in 1999 with Genie in a Bottle?
Christina Aguilera.
Correct. And what was the name of Oasis's second album? I'm going to give you a clue on this, Steve. It's the one you're thinking of. It's the one.
White Walls?
Sorry, Steve.
I don't think of Oasis. That's the problem.
Chicken ass.
This is it's What's the Story Morning Glory. Steve, which I think is the penultimate. That's the one with Wonderwalls, and not White
Walls. I
I was like White Walls.
I listen to Brit shit, but not them.
After all, you're my white wall. That song, Steve, that hit.
Don't fuck with Oasis. Clearly, Radiohead, Led Zeppelin. There's a lot of people from that country I fuck with. Oasis was never one of them. Just never was.
No, and also they were pricks. Like the one guy was
Dick.
like a complete prick, and the other one hated it, and they were brothers. So,
They don't
but
even
you
like
did.
each other.
You got the one that mattered. Christina Aguilera, Steve. Fucking, I'll throw a little hot dog flavored water on her if you know what I'm talking about.
All right, man.
How about you, man? Any callbacks?
SNL is airing the episode with Lenny Kravitz as musical guest and Kirstie Alley as the host. That's a classic. And also in 1990, Coach is airing A Jerk at the Opera. And Craig T. Nelson is basically like spying on his wife throughout the whole thing. And they go to an opera. She goes to the opera with an old fling, and he's like checking her out, and he's wearing a mask. And it's I don't know. It's just hilarious seeing Craig T. Nelson in this episode, man. Just like fumbling over shit and trying to act inconspicuous. How do you say it? Inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
All of that.
Oops, winning.
But anyways, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister, mama. Don't tell your sister that. That would be a whole different West Virginia thing.
Yeah, dude. Tell her to
Shut up, bitch!
Ground chicken ass. And check out our guy Ronzilla, Wrestling with Ronzilla on TikTok. Kendra's Crushgasm on Wednesdays, and our guy Clark the Shark on podcast. So this is Steve G and Maggie with
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s.